Golden One Center. It's my honor to welcome in the 14-year NBA vet, former Sacramento King, Ohio State's finest. You can find him on the Clippers TV broadcast, CBS, TNT. Our guy, Jim Jackson. Jim, you're on with Drapes and the High Flyer. How you doing, man?
I'm good, fellas. I'm good. How you doing?
Man, hanging in here, bro.
Good, man. Hey, we're not interrupting your nap. I know you're getting ready for the night's game and everything, a big game here inside Golden One Center. How you feeling about tonight?
You know what, man? After that game last night, I mean, it was bananas, and I could feel the energy through the TV in the building. It's such an emotional type of game, especially for Sacramento to finally kind of get over the hump to beat Golden State, a team that's kind of been a pain in their side, so to speak. So, to muster up that mental energy to come right back against a team with the Clippers who, coming off a disappointing loss against Denver, it's going to be interesting to see what the vibe is like the first 3 to 5 minutes of this game, man.
I mean, JJ, you've been here, bro. You've been a King. You've been in this city. You've seen what's going on over there at Arco Arena. And now we're here in the G1, and, we got the new team. We got the beam and all this other things, man. Tell us what you think about the difference in, what's going on compared to where you was at when we were here playing.
Well, I mean, with Arco, it was just, one of the best experiences I've had playing basketball. For a couple of different reasons. One, of course, the atmosphere was there. It wasn't always like that with Sacramento, but Sacramento has always had some great basketball fans, even through the lean times, in the 80s and early 90s with, Mitch Richmond, Bobby Hurley, and those crew back in the day. But I enjoyed so much of my time because of the respect that, the fans had for the game and the team and of course, the roster. During the time when I was here with C-Web and Vladdy and Mike and Bobby and Paige, and that whole crew was just a special time. Now, you kind of look at this Kings team, it took some time for them to figure the right chemistry, the right personnel, more importantly, the right coach. And Mike Brown has been through a lot. He's grown since his days in Cleveland, even in L.A., and being an assistant with San Antonio and Golden State. And it's all come together, and I'm happy for him. I really am. The timing is perfect. The roster construction fits what Mike Brown wants to do. And, more importantly, man, your superstars, they're low maintenance, which makes it a lot easier for a coach to kind of implement the kind of system that he has. And now the rest of the troops just follow in line.
Jim Jackson, you can catch him on the Clippers broadcast getting ready for tonight's matchup between the Kings and the Clippers. JJ, when you look at the Western Conference, I looked at it, and I looked at some of the names and some of the teams. There's about 11 to 12 teams that could all make the playoffs. Somebody with a big name is going to be left out. Where do you see the Kings and how they stack up with, let's say, you guys, Lakers, Warriors, some of the other teams in the Western Conference?
They're right there. They proved that last year. Now, the important part, like with any team, I don't care who it is, guys, you've been around enough to know this. And Sacramento was the poster child last year of being healthy. You got 8 rotational players playing over 70-plus games. That allows you to have a continuity that a lot of teams don't have. And when you have health along with, a talented roster with a good you're going to have a chance to compete at a high level. And that's the key with any of the teams, in the Western Conference, Eastern Conferences. Can you finish the season whole? Can you go through the dog days of the season where your roster is not impacted by major injuries? And the early season is so important in regards to how you win games when you're supposed to. Last night was a big game. The Clippers have found themselves in situations where they dropped some games. We dropped some games that we probably should have won, that hopefully don't come back to hurt us later on. So there's so many different dynamics and factors that go into it, but health is a big cause of that. A big reason why teams are successful and not. But Sacramento, Denver, Clippers, OKC, Phoenix, all these teams have a shot. It's just a matter of who can come out, I think, healthy once we get around to April.
Now, JJ, back when I was in the league, you were down in Dallas with Jay Kidd and Mash, and you guys were probably like one of the first big threes out there, you know, really trying to have to figure it out how all three of you guys were going to just play with one ball, and you guys figured that out. Now, seeing that you guys got four first ballot Hall of Famers, man, how is it, you know, how is it going to where they're going to be able to figure out and keep all these guys healthy?
That's a great question. But, you know, it depends on where you're at in your career. You saw it happen with Boston, with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. Now, they were at a different part of their career. You know, a little bit older. They were settled in. They knew who they were. They accomplished everything they wanted. So they were able to figure out how to work things out. Now, the difference being their talents didn't overlap, meaning they all played a different position, which allowed them to kind of coordinate a lot better. The challenge you have with situation is you have four players who pretty much need the ball in their hands to be really effective. And that's a challenge from a coaching perspective on how you institute plays, how you get guys to their spots, how you get the number of shots. So it's not as easy a transition. But I'll say this, that if the bottom line is winning games and winning a championship or ultimately competing for one, those egos have to be left to the side, and you do have to sacrifice, because the biggest thing is, guys, you know this, the sacrifice is worth it in the end if the reward is getting to a finals and ultimately winning, and everybody benefits from that. So I think we're starting to see a little bit at the beginning. It's tough trying to figure out how guys fit into this puzzle. You know, James needs the ball, Kawhi, Paul, and then Russ. But I do believe that with Coach Todd Lue, if they really buy into what he's preaching and selling, they can be successful. But it takes time, man. It's not easy. It's really not easy. And we haven't seen a team that come together, you know, early in the season or with this kind of change that have won a championship. Some have went, of course, Miami in their first year. But it does take time.
Right. Jim Jackson joining us. You can catch him on the Clippers TV broadcast tonight. Clippers against Sacramento. I want to stick right there, JJ, because you had the Harden trade. Russ decides to come off the bench. And when you look at the narrative out there, it seems like some people are taking glee in the Clippers' struggles since the trade. What's the vibe like inside the organization? Is there a level of patience with what's going on? Because you know, JJ, guys are up after this season too. Do they feel a sense of urgency that it has to work this year?
Yeah, for a number of different reasons. Even without the Harden trade, I think that was a really prevalent idea, because you're moving into a new arena. You have some contracts with the big three with Russ and PG and Kawhi. You haven't been able to accomplish as much as you wanted to over the years outside of a Western Conference Finals back a few years ago because of. So there are a lot of factors. Now, the outside noise, I think it has a lot to do with Harden himself and what he brings to the table, whether that's good or bad. You know, maybe if it was another superstar that wasn't James Harden, maybe you wouldn't get the same kind of vitriol a little bit that people are throwing around now. But that comes with the territory. When you've been through what James Harden has been through, good or bad. I thought he did an excellent job when he was in Brooklyn in regards to assume a different kind of role and playing point guard. But then again, with the Houston situation when he forced his way out, and then with Philly, it kind of negates what he did well and the sacrifices he made in Brooklyn. So when you bring him to a Clippers team that has struggled with an identity of health issues and guys not playing on the perception side, it's tough. But internally, I would say that there's a belief system that these guys can work together and get something done special. And they do have patience. They understood, too, that being professionals, and Lawrence Frank and Mark Hughes and even the coaching staff understood that just because you plug Harden, it doesn't mean that automatically all things are going to be solved. Because you create some other kind of issues that you have to deal with because of those dynamics, of those personalities and the way they play. So it's not as simple, but at the same time, that's what everybody gets paid the big bucks for, to try to figure it out.
Right. So JJ, Katie and I were sitting up here and we were talking about the MVP race, and we were trying to figure out why De'Aaron Fox don't get the looks that he should get. But I want to ask you, back in your day, because you was close, and as far as being one of those guys who would even be considered an MVP run, what would be more important to you, to win MVP or to win a championship?
See, that's a question. And the reason why is because championship is the ultimate goal. Depends on where you're at in your career and who you are. Okay, so yeah, some people, I want to win a championship, but I do want an MVP. For me, it's winning a championship because it's the ultimate team award. And I think you'll get, if you're the best player on the team, an MVP type of season will matriculate itself automatically. I think it comes with the territory. We saw that a little bit more. Now, there's been outliers, of course, that haven't been able to win the championship against MVP, Joel Embiid, for an example, last year. But I mean, it's funny when you take this poll, the right answer is going to be championship, but it depends on where a player. If you ask a player that's already gotten a championship that hasn't had MVP, maybe it skews towards an MVP because that's something they haven't gotten. For me, you get your legacy by winning a championship. You can walk in different rooms by getting that ring. Now, people say, well, you can't do anything with the ring, but they're wrong. But at the same time, you're an elite company because there's only one team that's able to win that each and every year. And you're with a special group when that happens, especially when you forge a relationship with a team and you can always relive those moments. When you get an MVP, you relive the moment, but that's an individual accomplishment. When you get a championship and win a championship, you can celebrate that with your teammates forever.
Jim Jackson joining us. Catch him tonight on the Clippers broadcast. You'll also catch him on CBS and TNT. JJ, I'm going to let you get out of here with this. And this is a personal question for me. This is just for me. I grew up watching you. I was a big Ohio State fan. I love Jim Jackson, but I also like Calbert Cheaney at Indiana. Tell me about Calbert Cheaney was my guy, man. Tell me about those head-to-head matchups, those duels back in the day.
And I hated chasing Calbert off all them screens, man, in Indiana, man. I swear to God. It's funny because in college, it's a big Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, but Indiana was our rival. It wasn't Michigan at the time. They had Fab Five in the beating us in the Elite Eight, but our challenge was always Bobby Knight and Indiana. So those battles, and think about this, it was at the time Calbert came in, Calbert wasn't the most highly recruited out that freshman class. Chris Reynolds, Lawrence Funderburk was in that class. So Calbert was like the third or fourth guy, but he ended up being the best out of all of them because of his size, sneaky athletic, left-handed. He was a battle every night, but it forced me to work on my game and be better each and every game because of what he brought to the table. You guys, this. You love competition, man. Come on. You love to have that type of competition, especially going against Indiana, a national brand. Man, we loved every minute of it.
Hey, man, appreciate you jumping on with us. We'll see you out here at the arena. Jim Jackson, former Sacramento King. People forget he played on his Kings team. They were pretty good.
Hey, let me tell you.
They were pretty good.
Hey, let me tell you. And you talk about having that dog on the team.
JJ was the dog?
JJ was the dog, bro. See, there it is right there.
Jim, man, hey, bro, thank you so much, man. We'll see you later here at the arena, man.
Brother. Enjoy the game, too. All right.
All right, baby. Our guy, Jim Jackson, is joining us here on the Drive Guys, Drapes and High Flyer. Get back to your calls, 916-339-1140. High Flyer, I'm going to ask the people and you, now that the group stage is over, how much of a